On today's episode, we're going to rebuild a super cool effect of the Whitney Museum. Check this out. I'm scrolling and this logo and kind of W scales when I'm scrolling. We're going to achieve this really cool effect within Webflow without using code. Let's rock and roll. Hey everybody, what's up? A couple weeks ago, I was in New York with my wife. We went to the Whitney Museum. By the way, awesome museum, super recommended. And on the way, I wanted to check what's on display. So I opened up the website of the Whitney Museum and immediately I fell in love with this interaction. When you start scrolling, it resizes and it's really playful and it's really fun interaction. I was like showing this to my wife, super excited. And then she kind of told me, hey, can you build this with Webflow? Challenge accepted. And so I came back today, wanted to try and achieve that. First thing that I do is, I go here and I do inspect element just to check out how they actually did this. And I immediately saw that they achieved this with custom code, right? So that you can see here, they actually have SVG tags here and they're actually drawing the lines with SVG. And even when I'm scrolling, you can see the height here changes. So they're changing the height of this element with code. That's a bummer. I don't want to write code when I design my website. I'm pretty sure you don't want to do that as well. So let's see if we can rebuild this with Webflow without using code. The answer is obviously yes, we can do that. And here's my Webflow project. I'll put the link so you can play with it. I only did the mobile version, so it doesn't make sense on desktop. But as you can see, I've managed to achieve pretty much the same effect. I was able to do that in like 1 hour to rebuild the whole thing. I'm going to show you how I did this. It took some creative work. I think the bottom line of this video is you can achieve any effect you want with Webflow if you're creative enough about how to do this. We're not going to do exactly what they do, but we're going to do this and achieve basically the same result easier. So let me show you basically how this whole page is structured. Okay, so basically the way that I have this page is we have a container for the whole page. It's a page wrap. I called it a page wrap. Let's actually start from the bottom. At the bottom, we have kind of a container, a div that holds the whole content. So those are actually, let's say, the exhibition, and basically this is what we have here. Above it, we have the navigation. And the navigation, you can see when I'm scrolling, it's a sticky navigation, right? So when it hits the top, it becomes a scroll. Now, because this is a sticky element, that sticky element is always relative to something else. It needs to be inside a container so that it knows what to stick to and when that content is over, because maybe you want it to stop being sticky. That's why we had to put the whole page inside this body wrapper so that this nav bar would be, let's see here, you see it's set to sticky and 0 from the top. So it would stick to the top when it reaches the top of the page wrapper. Now, I'm jumping into this page wrap, which holds this whole element. So this whole element, W wrapper, I called it, has the logo of the image and then this actually vector W. So again, they originally drew the lines with vectors. I didn't want to do this because I don't know how to write vectors in code. So I just opened up Illustrator, drew these lines, and exported as an SVG. And so it's vector, it's still a vector, and it's right here. I positioned them, and I've put them in this container W wrapper. Now this element is, you can see here, it's set to fixed because as you can see, it's not moving. So this is always fixed. Now the thing about fixed element is that they do not actually take up space because they're fixed. So they're not in the usual flow of elements in the page. And that means that basically this whole content and navigation would be on top of it unless I had this spacer element. So this spacer element, if I remove it, as you can see, what happens is we don't see the wrapper because on top of it, there's this navigation and the content, right? So basically what I put here is just an empty element that has the height of 180 pixels just so it would push down the content and give us the effect that this W wrapper is actually taking up space, even though it's not. And you can see we're scrolling on top of it. Now, the spacer actually has another function, which is to trigger the scroll interaction. So let me show you how I've set this up. And you can see that we have this kind of like interaction icon on it. So I went and added while scrolling in view interaction on it. And let me explain why I did this. Basically, we want the scaling of the whole top section to relate and be connected to the scrolling of the page. However, the W wrapper element is fixed. So essentially that element itself does not scroll. And so we need to add the scroll interaction on an element that does scroll into the page. And so that's why we add it to the spacer itself. So I've added a scroll animation on top of it. And this is basically how it's set up. You can see here if I trigger the live preview, so this spacer, when it scrolls kind of like out of view, it actually starts from 73 because it's already in the view and already starting to kind of scroll out. And when it gets to 100%, it's actually completely out of view. And so what I did here is I've added the animation on everything between 73% and actually 97 because I wanted it to to complete the animation even before the kind of spacer element is completely out. So basically what we have here is we have the logo itself scaling, changing in size, animating in size. So originally it's 120 on 30, and then at the end of the animation it's 0 and 0. The W vector is actually only resizing in height, right? The width is fixed. I want to squeeze it in, right? So the width is fixed to 100% width, and the height is changing from 168 to 0. And as you can see, the end result is 100 on 0. So basically, this is how it's animating, and it works really, really well. It looks very, very, very close to the original interaction. Now, one thing that I had a problem with. Turns out that when you try to squeeze, kind of stretch images, it's not a problem. But when you try to stretch SVG elements, by default, they won't stretch. They would just become smaller proportionally. And I didn't know why this happens. That was very, very weird to me. So I did what I usually do, Google my question. And a lot of times I find the answers in the Webflow forum, which is a really, really great place to find answers. So basically I wrote SVG background stretch. And it turns out that somebody had this problem, right? And they were asking, and they showed here that they're trying to stretch this image, but it won't stretch. It just scales down. And there was a discussion about why Webflow itself, you see, you're right, it doesn't work with SVGs, but somebody came up with an answer, and he said, you know what, if you open the SVG file in a text editor and you add this line which says preserve aspect ratio equals none, that would actually solve the problem. And so I've opened up the SVG in a text editor, added this line, and bang, problem was solved. So I want to say I've completed the challenge without writing code, but I did this very, very minor code adjustment. Again, I'm not like a developer. I wouldn't know this by myself, but I look it up on Google, and the Webflow forums have great answer to a lot of these questions, and I was able to do that and solve that problem within minutes. So I'm pretty happy with the results. I think it's really, really cool. I'll put the link to the project so you can play with it in the description. Again, it's only worth checking it out on mobile because I didn't do the desktop version. I hope that gave you kind of the sense that you need to be creative, but then you can really achieve anything you want with Webflow. If you want to learn more about the ins and outs of Webflow, check out my course in the description. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.